This is an Off the Tongue podcast.
I feel like sometimes it takes someone going through such a huge heartbreak and realizing that they are still okay after that heartbreak to get to that point to be like, I'm still going to be okay with or without you.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 156 of the Average AF Podcast. I'm your host, Adam McElroy, and I'm joined today by a very special guest, Miss Cara. I've known you for over a decade, and I always get nervous when I say your last name, McClenathan.
Yeah, you did it right. Yeah, that's right.
Appreciate you coming. It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You were on, well, actually, do you know what episode you were on?
I think it was 67.
Yes,
Was
episode
it? Okay.
67.
Hey.
And today is 156.
Oh, wow.
So it doesn't seem like that long, but it's been like almost, like over a year and a half.
Gosh, it has.
That's crazy.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, thanks for filling in while Baker abandoned the show, abandoned the team. If you just heard a fart sound, that was from Mr. BJ Price.
Boop, boop.
He is here this week as well. But we do got to do one thing to start off the show. It's a very special kind of ceremony-ish. Not really. But I need you to take this marker and sign your name on the wall somewhere around the middle-ish.
Oh, heck yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, sign anywhere. We appreciate you being here. This is what we do with guests.
I feel honored.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
I'm gonna sit up here.
Yeah, wherever you want.
Oh, I feel connected.
Yeah, you got a leash on, so I apologize about that. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's a professional signature right there.
That's like I'll put the date too.
Oh, yeah, you got to put the date. What is the date?
The 22nd.
7/22/22. Appreciate you for filling in for Baker.
Ryan, I'm coming for you.
He's
taking over.
On vacation. Please do. He's on vacation right now in Maryland. He's been sending me like beautiful sunrises and everything. He's like, this was worth waking up at 5:30 to do. And I was like, well, I'd probably just stay up rather than wake up.
Yeah, same here.
To each their own.
No.
But how you been?
I've
How's
been pretty
life?
good. Busy.
Yeah.
It's been busy. I've been working 2 jobs since October, so it's been 7 days a week, and now I know you're busy too. So
yeah. Well,
we can both
everybody's
relate.
busy.
Yeah,
everybody's
we all
busy.
have our own shit going on.
What is that?
It's Glessner.
There's
Coming
always
off of Glessner.
Is it
always?
There's always noise coming from my fucking neighborhood.
Oh, dude, coming off of Glessner onto your road,
Mm-hmm.
like this little girl was in the middle of the road riding her bike, so obviously I kind of stopped, and I'm kind of back on Glessner too, but I don't think much of it. I don't care whoever's coming. I'm just letting the little girl get by. She tries to go to the edge, hits the curb, and eats it.
Yes.
Oh,
and I kind of roll by. I'm like, "Are you okay?" And like all the little kids around her are just laughing. I'm like, oh, "Man,
jeez,
savages!"
Little,
I know,
yeah.
I was gonna say
Savages.
that too.
Little kids are savages, and well, you probably know a lot about that.
Oh,
little
yeah.
kids being savages. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, so I'm going on 5 years with the agency
Jesus.
that I'm at now.
So, obviously, we talked about it a lot on the last episode that you were on, so we don't have to get like super deep into it, but yeah, just let people know what you do. I don't think BJ knows or anything like that. So
I have my master's in social work, and I'm a mental health therapist for kids in the school system. So I work. I don't know if I can say like I work in Highland local school district. I don't work for them, so I work for like an outside agency.
Are you like an independent contractor way?
So we are board funded through the Delaware Morrow Mental Health Board.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And so I'm not my job isn't through a grant, but I am grant funded through, like, my position is grant funded. So, like, I don't have a time cap where it's like a lot of times social workers will take a position where it's like, okay, well, you have a 3-year grant for you.
Right.
So mine is just like I work for the agency, so I'm kind of backed up by them.
Nice.
But they put me into At first, when I started out, I was in all of the Morrow County schools. So I was in Northmore, Cardington, Highland, and Mount Gilead. And now we've grown so much that I've been able to just be placed in one school.
Wow.
And so I'm in Highland. So I've been there for 5 years, and it's just I do prevention services, which is just like basic level counseling with kids.
Sure.
But then I also do more individual psychotherapy, which is just like a little bit more intense therapy, like mental health therapy for kids. So it's been pretty cool because I've got to see these kids go from, I've never been at a job this long to be able to see growth. And so I've been able to see, kids that I've had in kindergarten and now they're in like 5th grade. And it's been so cool to be able to see their personalities grow.
That's
and,
awesome.
Oh, it's so rewarding. And it's just been, it's so awesome. I love it so much. It's so cool.
That's amazing. We could talk about that the whole episode. We already did like an hour and a half on that. Way back, episode 67. So scroll your ass back there.
Hell yeah.
To hear all about it. It's
go
crazy.
Now and then come back.
Yeah, pause it. Pause it for real. I'm gonna be watching the numbers, so I'll know. But it's crazy though. Like I said, that's just so fascinating. And I don't know if I kind of just put this connection together. We met because we were going to school for the same thing.
Psychology.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's how we met in college. So I was also at one point thinking about being a therapist. And this podcast has proven I made the right decision because I'm insane.
No, I mean, I think it honestly takes an insane person to do this and to be able to relate. Because sometimes I hear some of the craziest stories where I'm just like, I can't judge.
Right.
I can't. I am not in the position to judge anyone ever.
Especially when it's kids.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of it's out of their control.
Right.
Usually.
And so you are an empathetic person. I know you are. And you have always been. It's gotten worse
over time.
I will look back. I'll look back on my timeline on Facebook, and I will see posts between the two of us.
Yeah. And
I am always thanking you for being that phone call. I'd always call you, and I honestly, I truthfully don't remember our conversations back then. How immature I probably was and just crying.
I remember I saw one probably a month or two ago where either I wrote on your wall or you wrote on my wall or whatever, but we were writing things backwards.
Yes.
So have, the word have was EVAH.
Okay.
It's very obvious what we're doing. And we were thinking we were being so cool. Yeah. And we were writing paragraphs backwards like that. Yeah. It was so bad.
I am so confused when I look at them and I'm like, what in the world was going on then that we were even thinking, or I don't know, but it's so weird because some of I don't know where a lot of my memories have gone over the time. I don't know what I've done, but
sounds about right.
Yeah. But I'll look back and I'll be I'll either write on your wall or whatever it be, or reply to a comment, and it'll be thank you so much for I called you last night or whatever it be, and so. You obviously were my go-to person back, way back when, and you have probably always been that person for people to go to when, to problem solve. You are that, go-getter, and you do like to do that.
That's I think it's the older I get, it's kind of more morphing into a problem because when people come with me with stuff and I'm not an old wise man or anything like that, but I'm old enough now. And I was even this way back in college where I'm fuck it, who cares? And then, I'm just okay, if that's the issue, then do this. This is how you solve it. And sometimes I have to realize people don't want that.
No.
People just want to vent and, want that empathy and stuff. And for me, just instantly, my brain's here, you present me with an issue, I'm not oh, that sucks. I'm okay, well, then you can do this.
Right.
And I'm it's gotten me in trouble a little bit because people are bro, I don't want that. So
I've had that problem in the past too, where I have went to someone kind of like you.
Yeah.
And I wanted that, just that shoulder to cry on, and it was more problem solving. And so I can understand where you've probably run into issues in the past. But at the same time, people will come to you when they need a problem solved. And so that's pretty awesome. It's
I don't know. It's just how my mind works. Like
it's how most male minds work. Is it's where
let's get it done.
Well, you brought me the problem. Let me solve it. And it's not like you want me to. Being married for 17 years, I've had to learn that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Issue, solve it. We're good.
Yeah.
That's what you think, but then you go and you just get punched because you're just like, that's not what I want.
Right.
My dog.
I wanted you to cry with me.
Right. My dog recently, she sorry, this like kind of all relates back to this, I promise. But she it was like probably a month and a half ago, she couldn't open her mouth at all.
Okay.
And so it was like she couldn't open it more than just like maybe an inch without yelping. And so she went about 3 days without eating or drinking. And so I had to call the emergency vet. I had to like get her in. And what they diagnosed her with was muscular myositis, which is where like her
Triple M.
It
Michael
is.
Motherfucking McDonald.
They did
Shout
say,
out time suck.
She did say, she was like, it's called the triple M because like basically her immune system is attacking her jaw muscles.
Aww. 3 out of 5 stars.
Oh my gosh.
That's an inside joke. Don't worry about it.
So I had like relied on my friend to I was just like freaking out, dude. Like, cause like that's my baby. She is my child. That's all I have. And I was like relying on my friend to kind of just like be that shoulder to cry on when I was freaking out. And it was all just like, let's get it done. Let's get it done.
Right.
And I was like, this is not what I need right now.
Right.
And so
Yeah. Right.
I can totally understand where that comes from because I think it might have to do with me being in the position that I'm in.
Yeah.
Or just like, and it's not just me doing my work all the time because I think that's just naturally kind of who I am. It's just like
you provide empathy all day. So it's like, eventually you need some back.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
True.
For sure.
So are you able to like kind of turn that part of it off? Like just in...
Yeah, but it has been used against me so many times, whether it be in like relationships or friendships where it has been like kind of thrown in my face of like, well, don't use your counseling knowledge right now. Or like, you're not like, this isn't a counseling session and like, stop pretending that you know, whatever. And it's like, that's not truthfully, like, that's not who I am. It's just, I have kind of tried to work on myself as I've gotten older, just in general of just like calming down a little bit more.
Right.
And I think
that's
that like,
good because that was not the case for a while.
No, not at all. And it's like with being older, we can't react the way that we did when we were just like teenagers and just like flipping out. And it's like some adults don't get there. And so when you are the rational one in that situation or when you are the calm person.
This is how most men feel arguing with women.
I bet.
So,
okay. It's taken me some time.
It's a joke, but it's true.
Yeah.
This is probably the longest time I've been like alone.
Yeah.
And like without a relationship.
Right.
And I get it now.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I get where you're coming from.
It's great.
I'm sorry for what you know.
Yeah.
It's like shoot.
So I just shared something on Facebook like an hour or two ago, and it was like I kind of want that 2-income household.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't want anybody in my fucking house. Like it's like so real. I'm like I kind of want that, but also like don't be here.
Right.
That'd be really cool. But yeah, ever since I had Harper, it's like even before that really, but like really now it sounds bad, but like I won't, obviously there's benefits to a relationship. I'm not saying there's not. And I'm willing, we had this conversation like a week ago. I'm willing to have a relationship tomorrow, forever. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, there's not really much more that can be offered in the sense of like my happiness because I already have Harper.
Right.
It's like that's literally all I need.
That's the ultimate love.
Yeah.
That's your child.
And like, again, like I'm not saying it wouldn't be awesome and there's not benefits and obviously it's good for somebody to love you and you love them and all that, but I'm just saying like I'm one of the few people that legitimately like if I was single forever, I wouldn't mind.
Right.
Like it's not anything I look out for. I'm trying to do better. We talked about that too. I'm trying to do better to be like I said a normal person. I'm trying to, but like it's just the reality of the situation. Like it's hard for me with everything I got going on too. It's hard for me to put in much effort into it because I'm like I'm already fulfilled with my daughter and the shows and the network and like all this stuff. Like I'm already pretty much obviously not as fulfilled as I can get, but like I would say like 95%.
Well, and if you're happy, it's like if it's not broke, don't fix it
Right.
type of situation. It's
Right.
just like, you know, if someone comes along that can add to that happiness and
Right.
doesn't like kind of take away from
Right.
everything that you've already established and what, you know, whatever it be, then that's awesome. But it's also like you are so independent at this
Right.
point where it's just like it's you taking care of you and your daughter. And if it's can just add to that, that's great. But if not, then it's
Right.
just like you're already happy.
And that's honestly like I've always thought too, like that's kind of how to have a very healthy, successful relationship is like you do your own thing, I do my own thing. Obviously, like, you know, eventually we'll move in together and like, you know, whatever the next step is. But it's like I've always said this too, and you guys have heard me say this multiple times. I always want somebody that wants me but doesn't need me.
Right.
That's exactly it. Like, if you're dependent on me, like, it just rubs me the wrong way. Like,
I'm
and-
complete opposite. I
and,
need
like-
to be needed.
You
See,
do?
Yeah, I feel like I need to be
yeah.
needed.
See, and that's
that
I
a
would say
man
that's
thing?
normal though.
Like,
I
Like,
don't know
is-
if that's normal, but I know that's me.
I feel like that, like, men like to feel needed. Like, they feel
Right,
like they
yeah.
need a job. And, like, I don't know, you know, I don't know if you guys ever look up the love languages or whatever it be, but
A little bit.
You know, there are
I
5
know mine,
different.
yeah.
Okay, what are they?
Mine is physical touch and words of affirmation.
Okay.
See, I think isn't there one that's
We,
like
my wife and I, we do that. I think every other year we read it all again,
That's awesome.
and we sit with each other. And
they have
we-
an
we
awesome
talk.
relationship.
I can
Obviously,
tell
I don't know
already.
the details of it, but
Well, I mean, it's also our marriage is rooted in faith. We're
Yeah.
Christians and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and we do a lot of studying and stuff like that together. But we have found, like, anytime we get into like a heated argument, it's just like we just stop and we're like, well, I'm trying to love you.
Right.
Like, I want you to love me.
Right.
Right.
And we can 17 years in, you better recognize that
Right.
in one way
Yeah.
or another. So.
right.
And I think
That-
we all just, like, sorry.
No, you're good.
Just, like, we all show we show our love the way we want to be loved.
Exactly.
And so it's so nice to kind of know your partner's love
Yeah.
language, just to like be able to try to show them you love them the way they feel loved. And
Isn't one of them like little acts of
Do you
like,
remember
Acts of
kindness?
service?
Yeah,
Acts
acts
of
of
service.
service is one of them. Yeah.
yeah,
What-
so it's physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service.
And they all have a sub one too.
Yeah. What are the other two?
Hold on.
Because I think what is acts of service? What's that
So,
mean
like-
exactly?
Like
Doing
maybe
things for
yeah,
the
so
other
like
person.
maybe let's hypothetically
giving
say
was another one, I
yeah,
think.
gift giving. If
Okay.
we were together, you come home after a hard day of work and I have like dinner made and
Right.
the dishes are done and the house is clean. So like acts of service is doing
Okay.
something for you, or like
See,
you go and you take my car
There you
and
go.
fill it up with gas, or I
okay.
can't, I'm blind.
So
Oh.
words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, quality time, physical touch. So see,
So what are yours, Cara?
Mine are well, I think that they've changed
They
since
do,
I have
and that's why Hannah and I
Yeah.
do it like constantly,
Um,
because I think they morph a little bit.
I don't know, honestly, like I don't know if I should, well, I should, but like go back and take the quiz, but I think that like I was just saying, I've kind of spent more time by myself than I've
Yeah.
ever really been.
right.
And right now it's hard to even like picture that
It's
any of it
me
right now.
too,
It's like,
like-
you know, it's like
like the words of affirmation. I think that's probably the most
Yeah.
I would fall under, because like acts of service like that, like having dinner made, or doing my laundry, or
Yeah,
like
doing stuff without
Right.
wanting
So-
something in return is kind of like they break it down a lot
Yeah.
in the book. It's
I'm always like the one with the weird take on stuff.
no.
But like I've always appreciated that stuff. Obviously, it's very nice for somebody to do, and I always recognize that and things like that. But like I also at the same time kind of feel weird
Yeah.
when like my girlfriend or whatever will go make my plate, and I'm like,
I can do that.
yeah, but like I'm like,
so
I
that's
don't-
clearly not really yours.
well, that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. So like gifts are bad. I'm a bad gift giver.
Same.
It's not just receiving; it's gift giving. Like my buddy,
Yeah.
his is big on gift giving. Like he gets real thoughtful when he gives his kids a gift or something.
Right.
He wants it to really mean something
Right.
and come from that place.
See,
And so he probably really loves gifts that like come
Yeah.
from the heart.
Yeah,
then
he
too.
also
It's like
he'll also
I'm so
really
bad at that.
appreciate
same.
I'm
something.
so
like
bad
that.
at that. Quality time, that's obviously nice, but at the same time, like I also need my alone time, and it's not a bad thing, and it's very hard to relate. I know you're going to get this just because we have the same mindset on some things, but it's honestly, and I say a lot of generalizations, obviously, but like most, well, I don't want to say most, but a lot of women, especially the ones I've been with, when I'm like, hey, I just need my alone time tonight, they take it personal. Mm-hmm. No matter what, when I'm like, hey, I love you, you're great, it's nothing against you, I just kind of want to sit by myself, like, do whatever I need to do tonight.
Quality of time, they break it down even more into, like, quality time becomes how the quality time's used and stuff. But it's also, quality time can be your love language if somebody can respect your quality time. Okay. And then physical I don't know, man. Touch, I read the book a lot. I like
that's good, though. That's especially good for this conversation because I'm an idiot. But physical touch, I don't, and I think I've probably talked about this too. I don't really care about that. Like,
I gotta be touched.
Yeah, I mean, like I do love, like, you know, sometimes like cuddling and like small things like that, holding hands, whatever. I'm a big hold your hand guy when I'm driving. It's harder now that I drive stick, but you know that you still got that same car.
Yep. 6 speed.
Yep. But like I don't really care about physical touch either. Like honestly, I'm one of the I got a weird or just a different take. I don't think this is a weird one necessarily, but like if a girl says like no sex for 6 months or whatever, I'm like, okay. Like it doesn't matter. Like that's not what I'm there for. Well, so
it's not a thing that's that's
but a lot of guys, a lot of guys will claim that and like the stereotype, blah blah blah. But none of these really fit me too much.
Now I think they break them down very well in the book, and I have it on an audio because when I used to drive, kind of like you did all the time,
right?
It was nice, and they do a good job because they give examples every time, and they just I don't know. I think they do a good job because I remember the last time I didn't read it, I listened to it. Like one of the examples like hit me more close to home, and I realized that I was a sub part of like words of affirmation and some physical touch go together because of X, Y, and Z. But it's all really interesting.
Can I disregard this list? Sure. Like in your past, how has like previous? Oh, you could have left it up. Sorry,
okay. I just meant like
no. I just meant like to you. Like if nothing here applies to you, like. How has someone in your past shown, like, how have you felt love before? So, like, what would that look like to you?
I don't, it's so bad. I don't know because, like, I'm always, like, when there's acts of kindness, like, you know, the dinner or whatever, like, I'm always super appreciative. So, like, that could be a way that they've tried to show me, you know, whatever. It's hard for me to say that because I don't know.
Not what you're looking from another person. It's what you like. Think about it in what do you like to do things for other people?
Well, but your question was, what have others done for me?
Like to make you feel loved. How does someone show you they like?
I guess the biggest thing for me is like, it's so simple, but it's hard to find. Is like respect in a certain way, and I'll explain in a second, but like respect and understanding.
Yes. Okay.
Those two things, like respect in the sense of like, and understanding both really in the sense of like, I'm also my own person and like, it's tough, but it's like the reality of the situation. Like my relationship, they have to kind of understand that they're not the first priority. Like, Harper's the first priority. And then, to be honest with you, I'm somewhat selfish, and I put myself as the second priority.
As you should.
And then I would probably put the shows, the network, all that kind of stuff as the third priority. And that person would be 3A or 4, like tied kind of right there. And it's just hard to go into a relationship with that. Like, and I'm always honest, you know this, like, I'm always up front. If I like you, I'll tell you right away. And if you say, oh, I'm good, I'm like, all right, like, that's fine. We can still chill and, like, have a good time. But, like, I'm just looking for something specific, and it's hard to find.
Because, like, women typically would want probably more of your time.
Right.
And like, you just have priorities. You've already, you know, kind of, like, built this. You've built this from the ground up. And, like, you've been working so hard, and you know your daughter, first of all, should be first.
Well, right.
But like
That's a given.
I think just as we all get older, we should always put ourselves first, and like our children first, and then a second, but or whatever it be. But like everyone should do that. So any future partner should also be putting themselves before. Right. Exactly.
Us. But
it is hard to find.
It's hard to find someone with that same mindset.
I agree with you.
You still fall into quality of time because your time is also a quality.
Okay.
I mean, it's
that would probably be the most accurate one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just hard to go into a relationship knowing and being honest with them, like
this.
Like, and if it's not gonna work, let's not waste our time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's because that's another thing too. That's kind of a pet peeve is wasting my time.
Yeah,
and it's not. It's kind of comes back to the respect thing. It's like respect my time, respect like if we're kind of talking and like. Maybe you catch like a vibe that I'm trying to hit on you or, you know, whatever, but I haven't said it yet. And you're allowed to come out and say, hey, just so you know, I'm not looking for anything, but like we're still cool or whatever. I'm like, cool, that's fine. Like I've never felt like personally attacked if somebody like rejected me. You know what I mean? Like I've never... Because I want everybody to be so fucking selfish.
Right.
Like
and honest. Yeah. And just like whatever's best for you is what's best for you and I can't be mad about that. Right. But also just like being upfront and like not wasting your time. Just like, hey, if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. And I think that comes with maturity of being able to like handle rejection because it does happen, but also like just be upfront and honest with someone else if you are the one like rejecting that person. Like
I just think
it's so hard for people to do these days, and it's just like
it's an interesting conundrum because I've at least for the last couple of years I've realized that I have a very high self-worth, but I have a very low self-confidence. So like I kind of
that's almost a defense mechanism as well as if you in your mind you keep yourself down. Right. Nobody can bring you lower than you can.
Yeah, but that's not even it because, like, and it might be a little bit, but, like, for me, like, I've just, and both of you know this just from our other talks, like, I've just been so in my head about shit since I've been, like, fucking 7 or 8 years old that everything has been analyzed over and over. There's not, like, somebody asked me a while ago, or a month or two ago, was like, hey, is maybe like the insomnia from like a trauma or like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, because like there's nothing like hidden in there. Like I know, you know how people like push out like memories or whatever. I've just sat with everything and analyzed everything so closely that there's nothing there. But what I'm saying is like, I know myself so well that if somebody like rejects me or says like, I don't want to date or whatever, that, and I'm not saying I'm the shit, but like that's a reflection on them.
Yeah.
Like I'm still fine being me. It's just they're looking for somebody that's this or somebody that likes to do this all the time or whatever, and I just don't fit that mold. But I don't take that personal.
Right.
But I've just gotten to the point where it's hard to put myself out there like that, I guess.
I feel like sometimes it takes someone going through such a huge heartbreak and realizing that they are still okay after that heartbreak to get to that point to be like, I'm still going to be okay with or without you.
Right.
Like, you're just going to add value to my life or you're just not here. And so, I think,
well, I don't know how we got on this topic, but I liked it.
I have something interesting that's on a realm of relationships. This was funny. Okay, so I had to go to Lowe's for work the other day. Yesterday. So I go into Lowe's, and the door doesn't open. I'm like, that's weird. So I kind of push the door because they're automatic, but you know if you push them just a little bit,
because you're Captain America.
Yeah. And and I notice, I'm like, it's
reloaded.
I'm like, it's kind of bright in here, but it's not bright enough. What's going? I'm like, and I kind of look around. It's kind of dark, and I'm like, okay, maybe they had a power outage or something. But I'm like, people are still walking and shopping. I'm like being very aware, and I'm like, okay, they look like they might be working here and looking for the electrical box. I'm like, and it's like, then it says
you
Avita.
Think somebody's looking for the electrical box?
I don't know. They're looking like trying to see what's because they're talking and they're walking. And then I turn and I see they have an Avita shirt on. I'm like, okay, they're shopping too. Whatever. I need to get what I'm here for.
Or maybe somebody just had a seizure. They just got called, bro. You don't know the situation.
I don't know. I'm just there
They
to get
revived
a couple...
them, and now they were like, well, I need light bulbs
No,
anyway.
because right after that, they're like, yeah, I got a pit boss grill. That's what I heard.
Right.
So I
they're
revived
like, well,
him. I
right.
need some pellets for the grill.
Right.
Possibly. All I know is I need a couple plumbing fittings. So I go back, I find them, cool, whatever. So then I head to the front, pretty long line. I'm like, man, I hope they take card still.
Right.
But it looked like they did. I saw the person who was way in front. They did. So then there's the next person that's checking out. There's a dude in front of me holding a toilet seat. There's me with my 2 fittings.
Okay.
And we're just sitting there all minding our own business, listening to Hall & Oates, just
classic.
Chilling. And then from down the way, walking towards us, I hear a lady go, "This is what your Green New Deal gets you." And
my God.
Here's the part that just I love. When I left, I just felt energized by it. Me and the guy in front of me, and she's still spouting, and she's got arms full of stuff. The guy in front of me and we both just turn and look, like our bodies and everything. We turn, we stop, we look at her. And then we turn back and just don't acknowledge.
Right.
She talks one more time, and neither of us acknowledge it. We pay for our stuff. We leave, and she'd shut up at that point.
Right.
And we just leave, and I'm like, man, it's like we were on a wave.
Right.
Like I wanted to grab him and be like, "Did you feel that?"
You just told her to shut up with your eyes.
Oh, yeah. It was
That's
just
awesome.
like. It's like in that, like I try to tell my kids all the time, I'm like, when you get into situations, you just don't engage because you can't shout down crazy.
That actually, oh my God, it's so funny because I wanted to bring this up too. That kind of brings me to this because it's like you basically told her, like she wanted you to engage.
She wanted an engagement. That is 100%
she
what
wanted
she
a
was
battle.
looking for.
So one thing that I've noticed that I do, and it's my favorite thing in the world, and I just realized that I do it probably 3 months ago or so. Basically, if it's somebody, maybe somebody I don't like or just somebody that like I'm not interested in what they're talking about or whatever. Usually these things happen at work or like a stranger in line or whatever. They like for example, they'll be like, "Oh man, I'm going out of town tomorrow." And I just do not hit them with the follow-up question. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
And it just shuts them down because immediately they're like, "Oh, you're supposed to like ask me and I'll be able to." And anybody that like I don't want to have a conversation, it's so fun to just not provide that follow-up question.
And I think that like the older I get and stuff, it's way easier to do it too.
Oh, it's so awkward for me. I have to be. I'm like, "Where are you going?"
See,
and it's like it's so draining for me too.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Why did I ask that?"
It's so funny because you have to be convincing and sincere,
right?
But also not give them what they want.
Yeah.
And they're so confused because they're like, so she might hear this. I don't care. But like my ex the other day was like,
"You gotta stop that."
No, she's fine. We're good. But like, she's like, "Oh, like I have a 5-hour tattoo appointment tomorrow." And I said, "Oh, nice." Because I knew, like, and she's fine. Like, we're on good terms and stuff.
Right.
But I just...
No, I'm going to get Smashing Pumpkins lyrics on my arm. Why would you not ask about that?
Right. Like, yeah, like, you know she wanted to and I'm sure she's excited and all this.
Yeah.
And more power to her. But I just felt the need to just be like, "Oh, nice." And she's like, oh, like, it's just, especially in person, it's so nice to see because they're so excited. You hit them with a sincere, like, "That's fucking cool."
Right.
And then they're like, "Oh,
I wanted to talk more about this."
Yeah, and then they freeze.
So I'm getting, doesn't feel right.
Right. And then
more conversation.
And then now it's up to you to force that in.
So I've had to.
It's so fun.
I've had to try to get good at that because I bartend at night, and so like we get so busy that sometimes like people will try to start a conversation.
They want to start talking,
and
you're like,
and I'm like,
they
life
need a drink.
Stories.
So, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so I go from like kids in the morning to adults at night.
And
it's like really no difference, right?
Right.
But it's just like I've had to try to work on it, but it's so hard for me because I'm just like, I don't, truthfully, do I care where they're going on vacation? No.
Right.
But I just like,
it's a
I
little
hate
different.
disappointing someone. I don't, you know.
Well, it's a
Also,
little
you need that
different
tip.
because, there's tips involved, but then there's also that they're going to still be there. Like, they're still going to be sitting there.
Right.
For like an hour or 2 hours or whatever it is.
Some people pull 8 hours in there.
Well,
it's
right.
just like,
so you got to be nice to them. You can't shut down every conversation.
Right.
That would be so funny. That would be so funny to like Oh,
we
man.
should run a study. We'll do it.
Dude, Impractical Jokers. This is an idea. They need to go into a bar and just conversate with everybody at the bar. But anytime they bring up like a leading thing, just hit them with the "oh nice" or like the "that's awesome," just to the whole bar.
Why don't we start like our own Impractical Jokers around here?
We can do it. We can do it. We'll add something else to my plate. We'll do it.
Yeah, why not?
I'm willing to do it. That's the problem.
Fun. Yeah, no, I feel like I don't know that I have enough balls to do that. But
speaking of, I think challenges, or I don't know exactly how you worded it, but you said
I have a deal for you.
Yeah, a deal.
I have a deal for you.
And I was like, okay, and then she said, I'm going to leave it for the podcast. And I was like, well, I don't like that. Like, now I don't like it. So I'm very nervous about what you're going to say.
Well, okay. So there's this really beautiful spare cat. Or stray cat. Spare cat.
It is a spare cat. That's why it's a stray.
Of course.
Spare cat.
This is about the cat
that
she befriended
cat.
outside.
You had to know.
She said this right after she walked in. I did not make the connection. Did you make the connection?
I did.
No,
I was
you
gonna
didn't.
ask you about taking the cat.
No, dude, she can take the cat.
I'm still stuck on how I said spare cat. Maybe thinking. Anyway.
Spare tire, same thing.
Maybe. So I go outside, and this cat is just so stinking sweet, right? And so I'm just thinking, you need a cat.
Oh, okay.
So the deal is, I will get this cat spayed.
Okay.
I will provide food weekly or whatever for it, and litter box and litter for you. If you take this little kitty in, it'll be Harper's little kitty.
She'll love it.
She'll love it.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, but
it's not a bad idea. Like, that's a very sweet cat.
Dude, you could have a pod cat.
Oh my god.
That's what I call my cat.
A pod cat. That's so cute.
So the problem with this is
there's no problem.
I don't see the problem.
If I take in the cat, there is 0% chance that I would let you pay for the food and the litter and just be like, text Cara, we're almost out of food.
Yes.
Be like, bitch, come bring my cat food. Like, there's no way.
It's kind of like
She'll set you up with what
support.
Is that Chewy?
Yeah.
Online thing, it just shows up. There you go.
No, I think like rescue animals are so awesome.
So it is a cool cat, but you know what else is
pretty.
You know what else is awesome? You also have a house that you can take the cat to.
Oh no, my dog. No, she's completely
I guess we're out of options.
Cat would be gone.
I guess we are out of options.
You just got a cat?
No, I don't think so, dude.
I think after I gave her some love, and she's definitely coming back.
She's been here for like 4 days. And how do you know that it's not like my neighbor's cat?
If you love it, then put a collar on it.
Well, okay, Beyonce. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. See, I'm good. But yeah, I don't.
It's kind of a ring. I don't know.
That's so funny.
I don't know. I don't know if I accept this deal.
Okay.
Because also the cat looks pretty dirty.
Then give it a bath.
Right, I'll do that.
You give it a bath.
It's not that bad.
We'll put it on the Patreon. Get some leather gloves.
Gosh.
They don't need leather gloves.
You basically need some leather gloves.
Yeah.
Especially if this is an outside cat that
Trim
hasn't ever gotten
first.
loved.
Yeah, man.
Good luck with that.
Oh my gosh.
It's not hard to trim cat nails.
Well, you have very inside loving cats.
Well, one of them
This
was
is
a
not
rescue
that.
That's
Do you give them
bonkers.
baths?
Yeah, we've had to.
You've had to, but you don't.
The one freaks out. I don't give them, cats are pretty clean. They're like the laziest animal. You don't have to do anything. You literally, like my friend used to have a cat.
We had this argument a couple weeks ago.
Where you literally, he would just buy a bag of food, open the bag, and throw it on the floor. The cat would crawl in, eat some food, and then...
That's how you get a fat-ass cat.
But they're like the easiest thing to take care of.
Yeah, so we did have this argument. I'm like, no, the fuck they're not. Dogs are, clearly.
No, dogs, you can't... I can leave for a week, and my cats do not care.
Yeah, that was a good point. And I brought up the litter box, and you're like, well, you have to pick up the poop anyway for the dog. And I'm like, well, not if you're Cara. She just leaves it everywhere.
Yes.
Fertilizer.
Fertilizer.
It's fertilizer. I don't blame you. If it's on cement, I might pick it up. But if it's in a yard, as long as it's not in
even when you're walking the dog?
So okay, listen. My damn dog, first of all, I know I posted this on my Facebook, but this was too disgusting not to just share on here. But the other night I'm walking her. I got home from work real late, so we're taking a nighttime walk.
Yeah.
She goes shit.
Yeah.
Like normal. She does this little...
As you do.
Does the dog
kick,
thing.
kick. I think that there's a slug on her back. So I go to wipe the slug off, and it's literal shit on my hand. And I'm
Is
like,
that chocolate or poop?
I was so disgusted.
Test it with your tongue.
But anyway,
Patreon.com.
there's a lot of like, if she will shit in someone's yard, I'll pick it up. But a lot of like the times I'm walking her by like just like fields and where I live, there's a lot of just.
You're literally helping farmers.
I mean,
come on.
We'll just say that.
I mean, dudes, like when farmers, like I learned this like forever ago, but a lot of times when they're in the combine, everything's run by itself. They'll just hop out and take a dump in the field and hop back in.
I mean,
there you go. There you go. I think we had some current events.
I had one that I wanted to bring up when you guys were talking about your special little language that you had on Facebook. Have you heard of the Gibbons Sisters?
Nope.
Oh man, hold on, I got to bring that up.
The Gibbons Sisters.
Gibbons Sisters.
Are they like?
Oops, not that.
Do they have a special language?
June and Jennifer Gibbons. They're twins who would only talk to each other. They only talked to each other, and they only spoke a language that they had made.
Okay.
Like they would not talk to anybody else. But they also committed a series of crimes, like arson.
Oh wow.
And a couple other things. But it gets crazier and crazier. I don't know where it is, but there is a documentary on them because there was.
I'm already interested.
Yeah.
Once they were like court ordered, that once they were in prison and they were separated, like they went crazy because they're like the subject of like all the studies about how twins are connected, like.
Gotcha.
Like even like telepathically, it's insane.
What year were they born?
This main thing was in the 80s, I believe. Yeah, they were born in the 60s, and they came to notice they were imprisoned, I think, in the 80s.
Gotcha. So they did not get away with it.
No, they did not. But the crazy thing about Jennifer's death was, like, when she was talking to one of the court-ordered therapists, she's like, yeah, we decided that I have to die. And, like, the next day, she just had a heart attack and died.
Oh,
and then
wow.
her sister just started talking to everybody like nothing ever happened. Like she'd been talking to everybody.
English?
Perfect English, talking to them like like this is just the way it was.
Maybe, so this is my theory. Maybe they were both, since they were twins when they were born, they each got half of a soul, right? Because you can only split a soul two ways, right? So they each get a half a soul. And that's why they can't communicate with anybody, because they don't have the processing power to relate to people, right? Because they only have half a soul. I think this is on like Supernatural or something probably. And so what they do, but they do have this weird connection because they're the same soul, but they're separated, like those necklaces that you get with your best friend.
Oh, yeah.
And you
so
can
the
connect
broken
them like
heart thing?
Yeah, exactly. So this is what their souls are like, right?
Gotcha.
Or soul, I guess, because it's one. So they're connected, right? And this is how they make their own language. Very easy. You're talking to yourself.
It was like
if
I remember correctly, it was like a broken, because they were from the Caribbean and they were in Barbados, I think, as well. So they had like almost like a.
And basically, what I'm saying is when you make your own language, it's very easy to speak in tongues, right?
Easy
so then
at that point.
They did that together, exploded one heart, the soul then transferred to the other. Now she's a full person.
Full person.
Fact.
No problem.
Almost sounds
Put it on Wikipedia.
we could do that. You want to do that now?
Yeah,
that could be a new
let's do
segment. Let's edit Wikipedia.
That
Let's
almost
do
sounds
it.
like Twin Flames. Have you ever heard of that concept?
No, I haven't.
Okay, we're
but
not
I should
gonna
be a
go into
director
it.
if that's a movie
You
or a
should.
book or something.
Well, let's do it.
I need to be in Hollywood is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Real quick, we do have to take a break for some ads. Just real quick to shout out our Patreon producers. We appreciate everybody on Patreon. Patreon.com/AverAgeAFPodcast. Support for just $1, guys. Just $1. Our Patreon producers are Taylor, Tom, Patty Light, Barili, Joel, Sarah, Steve, Anthony, Jeremiah, Twitch.tv/EvilTony, and the Teach a Dummy podcast.
Whoop.
I know I skipped one there, but he's actually a different sponsor, so I didn't actually skip one. But shout out to everybody on the Patreon. We appreciate you. Could not do this without you. And then the guy I skipped will now get his own minute-long ad. Nate Collins, the man, the myth, the legend, over at Spitzer on 4th Street. It's been a long time since I've read this one. I've made Baker do it for a long time.
He's done it for
a long time now, so I don't remember the script. But Nate is awesome. He's seriously one of the best guys ever. He's not going to, like, screw you out of, like, a lot, like, any money or anything like that.
No, I went and saw him, and, like, he showed, I told him exactly what I needed. He's like, this is what I've got on the lot that matches that. He's like, if these don't work, and I'll send you somewhere else. We'll figure this out. He was super easy to deal with.
He's the
good
man.
Dude. He's a good dude.
He's the man. Any credit welcome as well. So good, bad, no credit. He'll help you out. hit him up. Call or text 419-961-4581. Again, 419-961-4581.
I text him. It was easier to do that. I just told him who I was and can I stop by? He's like, oh yeah, come on over.
Free car washes for life?
Yeah, if you have social anxiety, you need to text him, and you like your alone time, like maybe in a car wash, he can help you with that too. So if you get a vehicle off of him, that vehicle will have free car washes for the life of the vehicle.
That's pretty awesome.
It's insane. I don't know. That's hundreds, thousands of dollars. Shout out, Nate. We appreciate you. Back to the important stuff.
That's kind of everything I had there. Hold on.
I did send myself a current event, too. I think you sent me one. There's a lot of... That was awesome.
There's a lot of stuff bouncing around there.
So, there's two of them here.
Okay.
Either one.
I like whatever this is. They're changing a tire on a moving car?
Yeah.
What the what?
So, an Italian guy or a team of Italians, I don't know, broke a world record for changing a tire on a moving car. And there's a video of it. I have not watched this. I have not read up on it. Hit the share button in the bottom. Yep, we're doing it, man. We're learning after years.
Come on, thing.
We're learning after years.
All right, it's coming up.
So, yeah, this
Wow.
Italians break world record for changing a tire on a moving car.
Right. So, just hit that video. That's all we need.
That's crazy.
I don't need to read. We talked about me reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good
All
thing.
right, it's going now.
All right, 2-minute video. Oh, man. What?
How?
What is going on?
So they're up on two. It looks like he's changing a donut. The car's still moving, but it's up on two wheels.
And he's got a little hand crank, whatever you want to call that.
Tire iron?
Yeah, whatever.
So they
you
put
go.
this in slow-mo. I would love to see it. Just
Yeah,
like
I wanna
in
see
regular.
real time.
It
Or
is
is
real
it?
time.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Wow.
look,
He's
when
going
he
that
was putting his
slow.
hand on there, it looked like they slowed it down.
Wow.
He's probably just lining it up.
Look at him go.
What?
Look at
That guy in there's got to have a headache.
Oh, and they even have a spot on the front of the
put that-
bumper for the spare.
How
Oh,
is it-
man. Yeah, but, like, honestly,
How does he whip it back forward?
you just hit the
He's got those
brake
on
or
there. and
maybe
he's
jump
got,
in the front seat. Who knows?
Okay, he's got the lug nuts on there. It's all
I
matte.
honestly, like, I hate to say this, I'm not that
Whoa.
impressed. I'm not that impressed. Are you super impressed by this?
I'm kind of
I mean-
impressed.
I'm not. Dude, you have a
it's
power
going very-
tool in your hand.
You're going pretty slow.
You're barely moving. He's not even. He's
Right.
going 1 mile an hour.
Right.
He
But
hit a little
still.
ramp to get up on the side. That car is
All right, hold
clearly
on,
not a
he's got it.
stock car.
See, they slowed it down.
What's more
Right there, they
impressive
did
is
that.
like
Well, they did it earlier too.
Well, right.
him being able to maintain staying on the side. That's pretty impressive. But like
Yeah.
the whole
Yes.
tire changing thing.
I'm
is
more
kinda
impressed.
just-
Have you seen the guys who like do the semi truck where they whip it and they slide into a perfect spot?
Oh no, like a
Those are
semi drift.
A semi drift. Yeah,
That'd
it's
be
a semi
crazy.
drift. Those are cool.
Yeah, I mean, and he did this in what, like a minute 20. I'm honestly not.
Should
he
we go out-
wasn't. He wasn't hustling.
Should we
Nah.
go out now
You-
and do it in
we
my
could
car?
do it.
Go right
we
now.
could do
I have
it.
a tire I need fixed right now,
Okay.
so we
Okay,
should.
we
just-
got this.
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
But honestly, he
Stay
wasn't
tuned.
hustling. He was like,
Yeah,
Like-
well, you got to concentrate because you got to. And if he slipped and one dropped and bounced off, you're boned.
yeah, but then just do it again. You're only taking a minute of your time.
Yeah.
Just try it again.
Well, I don't know. Like, there's crazy rules with like the Guinness Book of World Records
Yeah.
when if they come out to film it. There's a
Right.
bunch of crazy rules. I think they covered it on like John Oliver. when
Yeah,
he
but
tried to
you
do it.
can try things multiple times. They do that all the time.
Yeah,
But yeah, I wasn't. Man, I thought that was
I'm
going to
with
be a
you.
lot cooler.
not as
Not
impressed.
Yeah, not.
Cool concept though. It's not your fault.
If you were dating a guy and you saw that on his Instagram and he was super proud of it, would you also share it and be proud of him, or would you just
Yeah.
like maybe not share it?
or would you
Like,
just go, yeah, that's cool, good
that's
job,
cool, man.
way to go.
Yeah.
I would probably be of support.
You're a good one. What else we got?
I'd be like, I know he's kind of
lame, but-
Yeah, I know he's kind of lame.
He's
but,
Italian.
like,
He doesn't understand.
Nah, show him some love.
Right.
Scientists discover an ancient forest inside a giant sinkhole in China.
Yeah. So again, I haven't read up on this at all, but it sounds like there's like a forest in this sinkhole that's like I think they
Where the
said
mole people
600
are?
feet down
All right, I'm sorry, I'm
or
scrolling.
something like this.
At 630 feet deep, the sinkhole would hide the Washington Monument and then some. Right. The bottom of the pit holds an ancient forest spanning nearly 3 football fields in length. Why do we measure everything in football fields?
Always.
America. Except this is in China.
With trees, but it's American.
They're probably talking about soccer.
With trees tower, yeah, maybe, over 100 feet high, and according to the Chinese government, it is...
Sorry.
It is one of the 30 enormous sinkholes in the country. Well, China's huge. Asia's huge. I mean, China's not that big.
It is one of 30 enormous sinkholes. That's like, bro, you're not top 25.
Right.
Yeah. You're not top 5, not top 10.
What's the largest sinkhole?
I would say
they just found this one.
I would say, dude, top 30, you can't even claim that. That doesn't even go on a resume,
well,
dude.
I wonder if, maybe the other sinkholes don't have a forest in them or something.
They probably don't.
Yeah.
So this is top 1 with a forest.
So is it rare to have
go in?
I'm just wondering how rare it is to have a forest in a sinkhole.
I would think it wouldn't be that rare, for these that happen in, like, the forest or whatever. Like, if it happens in a city, obviously that's going to get fixed and whatever. But if it happens in the middle of a forest... things would start growing within a day or two.
They find the other ones in caves, it looks like.
Okay. Well, a cave is just a sinkhole that's sideways, bro.
Word. Fact.
Everyone's going to be able to see me just sweating.
That's fine.
I'm so hot, blooded or whatever. I don't even know if it's
same.
Or,
I'm always sweaty.
I'm just always so hot.
I will say,
I like the season of fall is my time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
My time.
Like it's hot in here, but it's not anywhere near how hot it's been.
No, and it's not even that bad.
That 1 week, dude.
Dude, that 1 week, this little puddle from this was like my whole arms here.
Yeah.
I was wearing a jersey and had to unbutton the jersey, show off the chest tat and the chest hair.
We were
Hell
soup.
yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you guys know I'm a man.
You're,
now, I could change.
We know you're a man. Chill.
For now, dude. Don't assume my gender, even though I just said it.
Barely. There we go.
All right. I actually saw this one and scrolled by it because I was like, this
I had to read it because I'm just like,
yeah.
How invasive are these things?
Right.
A distillery is fighting invasive crabs by turning them into whiskey.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw the title and was like, I don't know, that sounds insane.
Green crabs are an invasive pest that have plagued North America's marine
so
ecosystems.
Well, it's North America, not necessarily America.
They're talking about in New Hampshire, so Northeast.
Okay.
I already have a question.
Sure.
I'm just thinking because I have a shellfish allergy, and I wonder if
you can't have this whiskey.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm sure you couldn't. I'm sure you couldn't.
That's interesting.
Well,
is there a shellfish warning on the whiskey bottle?
Well, and also it's just does the alcohol
here's
kill
the bottle.
that at all? I wonder. Okay.
Oh well, it's called crab.
Yeah.
Crab Trapper.
Crab Trapper. It's like maybe you shouldn't.
It's a cute little bottle, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it.
That is cute.
It's got wax on top.
Yeah. Okay. You trying to be Maker's Mark, bro? Get your own thing.
Green crab flavored whiskey. It says.
Yeah, it's green crab flavor. It's not even that they're just using it as the ingredient. That's the flavor.
First, they make the crab stock. Then they distill it using a vacuum still. So they boil up the crabs and then use the stock, the water in the pot.
The broth, basically.
Yeah. That's not going to do anything about it being an invasive species.
Right. It's like, well, let's just murder crabs and boil them and then not eat them. Are these not edible crabs? I guess not. They look tiny.
Yeah, there's probably no meat. They look out.
Well, it did also. Well, no.
They're like maybe like a 32nd of a football field.
Okay,
big, I'd say.
I would say way less than that.
You're right.
I was gonna say a 32nd is like
0.0001 of a football field.
So this is where my mind, dude, it's a problem because a 32nd of a football field is about 3 yards.
Yeah, I was
about
gonna say
9 feet. That's a big ass crab, and I'm running.
I'm not good.
That is an invasive species. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
a 9-foot fucking.
That's a terrifying invasive.
Yeah, they have those in Japan. Have
Basically
you seen
a
that?
dinosaur.
Those giant crabs.
Yeah, the giant crabs in Japan.
No. Yeah,
dude,
I'm good.
They're legit, I think 6 feet, 6 to 8 feet.
What about the in Australia, the big
I'll never.
They got big
Australia.
everything, man.
Right.
I'll never go to Australia, even though they say it's not bad, and it's that's just in certain parts.
Yeah.
It's to me, that's everywhere. That's everybody's. That's everybody's kitchen,
right?
And I'm not going.
A video of there was the guys at an auto shop, and you just hear, "Get him, Reggie, get him." There's this big rat coming into the shop, and they're like, "Come on, Reggie, get him." And this spider just drops down out, grabs the rat, and just pulls him under the desk. They're like, "Yeah, way to go, Reggie!"
Oh no!
I'm like, "You named
burn the whole thing down.
Yeah,
everything."
Somebody on Facebook actually that I used to work with just shared today that I don't know if he just got him or whatever, but it sounded like he got a new pet, and it's a spider.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, say hello to whoever." And I commented, I said, with all due respect, I will not be saying hello. Like, I'm not talking to your spider. Like, fuck that. No, and he said, he's not very much of a social butterfly. I'm like, yeah, that's because he eats the social butterflies, bro. This is nature.
I've tried to, recently I've tried to, well, not even just recently, just like within the past few years, just try to like catch and release everything and try not to be afraid of them so much because like I do not like spiders.
Yeah, I try to I keep the kids from killing anything that's outside. I'm like, dude, you're in their house. Knock it off.
Right.
And like when they're inside, I'm like, dude, you chose the wrong house. I mean, if it's a spider that's out of the way, like behind like a curio cabinet or something. I don't have one. I don't know why I said that. But behind like a cabinet or something, like I'm like, yeah, stay there. Eat the other bugs for me if you don't mind. And
I don't know. I've always done catch and release. That's just kind of how I grew up.
Really?
Yeah.
Not in my house, dude.
Well,
it's
I just have a cup.
about murder.
Like, so
just put a cup over it.
Yeah.
And
a cup and I usually have like a piece of mail around. It's a cup and a piece of mail.
I don't have time for any of this. It's death.
No.
You're in my house. It's time to die.
Well,
Except for it's ants because you have to let them like go into the trap and take it back to where they came from because you don't know where they came from.
Ants are British because they colonized.
Have you ever seen the videos of like someone killing like a really big spider and all the babies running out from under it?
Yeah, that's
like,
terrifying.
That has traumatized me enough to like not kill spiders anymore.
That's
So
true.
I'm like, I don't want a million babies running out from underneath it.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I'll just catch it. Yeah.
Well, so
I also do my best to like I do like the home defense spray and I spray around.
Yeah.
Every spring I sprayed all around the house and out around the outside of the house and keep them outside, man. And that usually helps because I get those big old wolf spiders in my basement.
Oh yeah.
Right. Those gotta die as soon as you see them.
You grew up in Belleville, right?
Yeah.
So, but where though? Like in town, outside of town?
Technically in town.
Okay. I wonder.
I was on the hill behind Quick Check.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Is that the hill that you bombed all the time?
I didn't. I have video of Ori doing it.
I looked at that hill and cried immediately. PTSD.
I used to go down it on my bike every day to go to school.
A bike is way different than a skateboard.
Ori bombed it on his skateboard, like was yelling at the car to go faster because he was speeding up.
By the way, Cara skates.
Really?
I just cruise.
That's
She's
awesome,
got a longboard. Yeah.
I do.
Longboarding's awesome.
My dog's face is on it. It's quite cool.
That's awesome.
And don't you just like stand on it and like they pull you
pulls
around?
Yeah. She likes to make a lot of like pit stops, so a lot of times I have to like be able to just jump off fast.
Yeah, you have to
or whatever,
be aware. You don't want to run her over.
No, but like we'll get going and she'll just be like running and I'll just kind of like just pull and
that's awesome. That's why dogs are better than cats.
Yeah,
they are better. I'm 100% on board with that fact. I just wish I could have. Well, I've got a job now that I could like bring a dog to work, so I'm like very
cool.
like. I really want to get a dog now.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get a dog too, and it would be fine. But I work in Columbus 2 days a week, so I leave here at like 6:30 in the morning, and don't get home at the earliest at like 6:30 p.m. So it's like 12 hours twice a week. I'm like I would feel terrible.
That's how I've always felt. That's why I always wanted a dog. I just never got a dog.
People like used to say that to me, and I'm just sorry. Everyone's gonna be like, I'm just like dripping over here. But anyway, they like my sister used to kind of try to make me feel guilty. She's just like, you're gone all the time. Why would you get a dog? And it's just like to me, and I'm not judging anyone for not because I understand it. Like it does make me feel bad. I am gone a lot, but like. Her being in my home, like being able to lay on the couch or like have food or whatever it be is so much better than being in a shelter 24/7 because they are so loud and like those dogs don't get any peace. So it's just like I will leave her for 12 hours sometimes. Which I mean, twice a week isn't too bad, right? It can be, but I mean, like I said, no judgment. I get it. It's like. You'd feel bad, but...
Is that her ears on your arm? Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I drew those up, and... No, she's a pit bull.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or pit mix. I don't... Like...
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
She's wild, but...
I always drew this graph of how much I love dogs, like how big the dog is and how stupid the dog is. and the other side is like... how much I love the dog, and it just goes, the bigger, the stupider, the more I love it. Like, I want to have to replace my screen door every week.
Yep.
Because the dog just walks right through it.
Another thing I love doing to kind of apply to that is like when that's an understandable thing, like that's real. But like when you say something wild and then but it's like probably true, I always just say there's probably a statistic out there for that.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny. Like you could say something wild and people are like, well, I don't know. It's like, dude, there's a statistic out there for that somewhere.
Studied it.
Yeah, there's a study on that somewhere, and I'm right.
How many kids a year have to do a senior thesis on something stupid?
Right.
There's
right, and I went through all the stupid ideas, so there's one on there. But Cara, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was awesome. Hopefully it wasn't too anxiety driven.
No, this was so much fun. I can't wait to like.
I told you once we started we'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, and I know you're gonna just be sending me clips of all my facial expressions because I'm super expressive, and I just like know I'm gonna be
I love it.
I just like.
It makes for a great thumbnail.
I think the last time you had sent me, it was just like all the different faces of Cara, and I'm just.
Oh,
like,
I did do that. I did do that. Yeah. Man, that's kind of a dick move.
No, but thank you. Thanks for having me on. Seriously, this is so much fun.
It was awesome.
So thank you.
You are very welcome to replace Baker.
Cool.
Anytime you want, permanently, whatever. But just be here every week.
Yep. 7 o'clock.
No.
Gotcha.
Why are you looking at me?
I know.
We had a deal.
I knew looking at you like that would get you riled up.
I switched it up so I could be here this
I know,
week,
dude.
I wasn't going to be off 2 weeks.
I appreciate you for doing that. Now we just need Tim to do that. I haven't talked to Tim in like 6 months. He literally doesn't even text me anymore. It's like he's not coming.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. Canceled.
Canceled himself.
You're done.
Thank you guys for watching. If you've made it this far, please like, subscribe, share, all that kind of stuff. If you came here for Cara, subscribe to my shit, please. I guess that's how it works. I don't know.
Yep.
But thank you so much. Check out, if you're on Spotify, check out Off the Tongue Podcast. If you search that, all 4 of our shows come up, and you've been like the biggest supporter of the new network already. So thank you so much.
No problem.
There's merch available, all that kind of stuff.
It's awesome. It's so cool. Go check it out.
Thank you.
And
so much.
I have some of just like Average AF podcast too, and that's awesome as well. So go check that out as well.
You've been one of the biggest supporters since day one too. So thank you. But thank you guys. I guess you want to do Baker's outro?
And until next week, peace.